Ghoulies, here we are once again on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Mariella's back in the castle, and, we're keeping the tradition alive. And, if it would just cool off a little bit out there, wouldn't everybody? Never mind.
I did hear that it is supposed to cool off a little bit more.
Right. The forecast does look like the beginning of the week is not going to be too good. We really got that end of the stick, as they would say, as far as weather here. But,
oh, yeah. We're still frozen.
We've got some Crimson Theater to warm your heart, and we've got a great one tonight. It's very campy. I don't know. It probably was intended to be that way. It's a pretty good movie, though. Frankenstein meets the Space Monster. Now, what'd you think of this one?
This one I did like. There's a lot going on in it.
There is certainly a pretty sound plot and interesting concept of Frankenstein and a space monster. He's no letdown.
No.
There seems to be a lot of stock footage from NASA, which is pretty interesting. Set to some, I think there's a band in this one that has a song that they're instrumental that they're playing throughout it. Pretty interesting, fun film, and you might even see a link to Austin Powers in this a little bit. Some early campy sci-fi. I remember watching it on a Sunday afternoon as a kid.
Okay.
And I was excited about the whole thing. It really does deliver everything a good B-rate horror film should, or science fiction a little bit.
Yeah, you got a good mix of the two, I think.
Right. Well, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is 200 years old now?
I don't think so.
Or maybe it's older than that. I don't know. Maybe it's only 100 years.
I feel like it's older than that. I read it, but it's been a while.
It is 200 years. I'm pretty sure. 200th anniversary, so
okay.
Yes, it is. I figured it was. And that story of hers that took off right away in her time. It got adapted to plays right away. It was just made for that sort of thing. And I know there was an account of them doing it on stage where the monster killed the doctor. And basically, he had a sponge that he dipped into some red stuff and poured on his neck on the stage in low lighting. And I heard that it was pretty effective.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I like all those little stage tricks and things.
Well, that's what makes it interesting until then along the way came to Boris Karloff's Frankenstein, where his face will be memorized forever as the Frankenstein monster. But there was bound to be just a whole million of Dracula and Frankenstein movies. Those movies were so impressive in their time that they've really they've lasted a lot of time. Another maybe 10, 12 years, Frankenstein and Dracula will be 100 years old.
Wow.
I mean, they look like they were 100 years old when I saw them as a kid because of the black and white. So
right. Yep. Really helps set the mood.
Yeah, it does set the mood. And even though Frankenstein was set in contemporary times in the 30s, that equipment that he used in the castle was actually very common stuff that they used in the time. And of course, there's that great scene of Bela Lugosi when he comes to London. There's automobiles in that. In the one scene when he walks up to the theater, and that theater, the windows and the doors on that theater that he goes inside looks just like Kenosha's own Kenosha Theater.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was very much set in the time. Of course, in the later period of the Universal films, or even by Bride of Frankenstein, they sort of removed contemporary imagery to kind of make the film seem older.
Right.
This one doesn't do none of that. This is modern day 1960s, and pretty interesting stuff. And I don't know, I just the whole combination, the whole concept, the storyline, the weird 60s music, and then the really strange early NASA footage. It's kind of strange. What was really going on?
It is. It's definitely a good mix of, different things going on. So
yeah,
it's exciting to see how it's going to play out.
It delivers. It definitely delivers. It's one of my favorites, and it's definitely something that should be on Crimson Theater. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Frankenstein meets the Space Monster on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
modulated hydrogen frequency signal of 21 centimeters, Princess.
What does that mean?
We're not quite certain, Princess, but it is definitely the same signal we have been following since we left our planet. The source of the signals is the planet that we are observing on the telescanner now. These transmissions indicate some intelligent life.
Let us move in for a closer look.
The spectrographic probe indicates that the atmosphere is suitable to sustain us.
Prepare for a landing. We will see. Instruct the landing party to wear pressure suits and breathing apparatus.
Aha! They have launched a missile attack. It may be aimed at us.
Destroy the missile, my dear.
Yes, Princess. Focus full force field at 090 degrees, range 700. And now, maximum energy.
What do we do if this guy fouls up today, Professor Steele?
General, we've checked everything out. I'm absolutely confident that nothing can go wrong.
I hope so. Now, we'll have to try it your way. We've already lost 3 boosters in a row. How are you doing, Miss Grant? How much longer before we reach the Space Center, Sergeant?
About 5 minutes, sir.
We're going to be late with the story, but the latest word is that there's going to be a new man. I'm hanging up. They just walked in. General, sir, is it true that we heard that there's going to be a new man chosen?
Gentlemen, take your seats. Gentlemen, please take your seats and the press conference will begin. Thank you, thank you. Gentlemen, we have just returned from our last meeting with our science advisors, and I'm happy to report that the launch is ready to go on schedule. The countdown will begin at 0800 tomorrow. And now, gentlemen, I want to introduce the astronaut chosen for this mission, Colonel Frank Saunders. Colonel Saunders will answer any questions that you might have. Frank?
Dr. Steele is an optimist. What he means is I'll try to answer your questions.
Colonel, aren't you just a little concerned about making a trip of 49 million miles alone? And when you do get to Mars, do you still expect to be alone, or do you expect to find other life?
I'm completely trained and ready for this mission. I'm not concerned. Now, fear is either physiological or the result of ignorance and superstition. I'm in good physical condition, and I haven't had the time to get superstitious. On the basis of all available data, it would be impossible to determine conclusively whether or not there is life on Mars. That's one of the things I expect to find out.
Colonel, we understand that the radio telescope located on the Downrange Island complex has been receiving signals in answer to their transmissions, which may be from either another civilization or from the space vehicle itself.
These signals could come from several sources. There's been no official agreement as to their origin, nor has there been anything to prove that they were sent by other intelligent beings.
Colonel, how did you get picked for this project? Aren't there more experienced astronauts available?
My career in the military prior to this mission was in test flight operations. Now, as I understand it, all the data on available test pilots was fed into a computer, and the results seem to indicate that I am the most likely candidate. Of course, I'm proud and happy to have been chosen, but I make it a rule never to question the decisions of my superiors.
Colonel, I've been covering the space program for quite a long time, yet prior to today, I never even heard of you. How do you explain that?
I guess I'm the shy type.
Colonel? Colonel?
Gentlemen, the Colonel wasn't kidding. He really is shy. Well, it's been a long day and we're all rather tired.
Gentlemen, this press conference is concluded. Let's all clear the room now. Drinks at the office club are on me. That's a good idea. Plenty of phones there, too.
Prepare for examination. Gloves. Quickly. Karen, get me the silica gel. Afraid we've still got a problem with the humidity in this atmosphere.
Dr. Steele, I've been against this project from the beginning.
I know you have, and I know that you are not alone.
You have friends in high places, and science is supposed to have all the answers. But this has got to work. If it fails, I assure you, you won't have any friends, and I'm not going to take a fall.
It's not going to fail, not after we've come this far. We have here, for all practical purposes, a normal human being created out of normal parts, transplanted, except for his synthetic skin and the electronic sensory control system, of course. But the significant factor here is that we can control him with this simple mechanism. His brain can record the data that we need and transmit it to us.
He's a remarkable creation, all right. I don't understand why. We have plenty of men, good men, who are willing to risk their lives in space exploration.
Exactly, risk their lives. Well, why risk one? We can learn all we need to know about extended space travel without the loss of a solitary life. That's the whole point, General. Besides that, we don't have to contend with the possibility of human error.
And that's fine, Steele. But what if the machine breaks? Or something goes wrong with his brain?
say you stay by my side. That's something we can decide. We can only wait and see. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. But for now, let's live and we may find that our love will be. Love may be like summer's rain, quickly come then come again. It may last eternally. That's the way it's got to be. 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 That's the way it's gotta be. Yeah, that's the way it's gotta be now.
Go ahead, Dave. Your attention, please. On my mark, we will pick up the count at T-minus. Mark 57 seconds. Stand by to start EPI on my mark. Roger. Minus 50. 3, 2, 1, mark. Roger, EPI is minus 45. Minus 40. Status check, pressurization. Locks tanking. Have a blinking high level light. You are go. Water systems. Go. Range operations. Go. All pre-start panel lights are correct. The ready light is on. Eject umbilical. Oil evacuate. Umbilical clear. All recorders too fast. T-minus 18 seconds and counting engine start. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Great day for the United States of America, ladies and gentlemen.
Beautiful, Adam. Let's hope your creation doesn't fall apart.
Still got a few miles to go, General.
The Earthship has just been launched and is headed directly toward our sector.
Do you suppose that they have seen us at this altitude, Dr. Nadir?
The probability is low, Princess. We have kept our anti-radar detection at full force.
Let us not take any chances. Commence attack plan on the Earthship.
Yes, Princess. Focus full force field at 090 degrees, range 700.
We did it, Adam. We've proven again that science and the military can accomplish the impossible.
And now, maximum energy.
Great American space. Culmination. There seems to be something wrong here. We have lost the picture portion of our program.
This is General Bowers. What's going on? Clear all frequencies from further traffic.
Rocket Control Central. Yes, Colonel.
Mayflower 2, Mayflower 2. This is General Bowers. Over.
This is Mayflower 2. Malfunction in all electrical systems. Request permission to abort. Rocket out of control. All systems, no go. I repeat, all systems, no go.
Use emergency escape equipment. Over. Mayflower 2, Mayflower 2.
spaceship pilot has ejected.
Pilot? They have pilots on the missiles? You fool! That obviously was not a missile, but a spaceship. If they have sighted us, all of our plans will be endangered.
We have lost him.
Find him. Find him and destroy.
We must land immediately. Stations for landing. Fire retro rockets. Activate pressure equalizer. Landing pods down. The electronic sensor indicates the patrolmen in the vicinity. They should return momentarily. Shall I initiate preliminary pre-takeoff procedures?
Wait until they return. Then we will initiate takeoff procedures and proceed with the optimum pollinization study as scheduled.
Very well, Princess. I'll notify the crew. If we resume operations today, we will not have lost much time.
What has happened here?
We found him in this condition, Your Highness. There was no sign of the fugitive astronaut. We returned immediately with our comrade to receive further orders.
He seems alive.
He is alive, Your Highness, but badly wounded. He will require immediate treatment.
Is he able to talk? We must know if he is able to talk. We must know if the fugitive has escaped.
He is unconscious. But from what he told us, it would seem that the fugitive was badly wounded and has little chance of escape.
If he was so badly wounded, how could he have attacked our patrolmen? Did you search the area? Did you see anyone?
Was there no sign of life anywhere?
Enough, Nadia. This is a clear case of failure. If the fugitive was able to inflict such damage on the patrol, he may be capable of escape.
But that can ruin our plans. We cannot complete phase 1 of our survey or any part of our plans if we are detected.
This is absurd. After all the reconnaissance work we have completed without successful detection, now to be forced into this position. In the past, we have always dealt with intruders easily. But now, so close to success, to have this happen.
What are your orders, Princess? Shall we call in the rest of the patrols and take off?
We cannot. We must commence phase 2 immediately.
But we have not completed the survey yet. What if this area does not prove?
We have no choice. I will talk to our men on the communicator.
May we take this man in for treatment now, Princess?
No. We will make an example of him. There can be no more failures. Bring him to Mull.
The communicator is ready, Princess. The men are alerted and waiting your words.
Of course, you all know why we left our planet home so suddenly. As a result of the recent atomic war, it was determined unfit for further habitation, at least until the radiation level decreases. You can consider yourselves fortunate to have been chosen for this crew. In case you don't know how fortunate you are, I will let Dr. Nadir tell you what is happening to those left behind.
The lucky ones are dead. Of the others, some will go mad. The others will slowly rot away and die in gradual agony. We have won the war. We are the sole survivors. It belongs to us. But it means that we are extinct as a race, unless, of course, we can find some good breeding stock and repopulate our planet.
We have won the war, but we have no women. We have come here to this planet for one purpose only, to acquire breeding stock to repopulate our planet. We have been placed in danger of detection by the recent failure of one of our patrols. And as a consequence, we must immediately begin phase 2 of our plan. Capture of the Earthwomen.
There it is again.
I've lost him.
Sorry.
I don't know why we're doing all this.
Well, it could be him. He could be out there somewhere, wandering around, hurt.
You mean defective, inoperative?
I know he's not human, but he's capable of experiencing pain. He could be suffering.
What we've been picking up could be normal electronic interference from any number of possible sources.
Our last contact...
Ghoulies, we got to tell you, the Dorian Gray Art Show is coming along, and that's April 6th. It's Sid City Zoo on 6th Avenue in Kenosha, downtown Kenosha. We are still looking for artists, models, and everything for that. Very excited for that. And we're having a Dorian Gray fundraiser March 30th at the Port to raise funds for the art show, so that it's really, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. You know, food and fun stuff.
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. We're looking forward to having you guys there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a blast, and 35th annual Dorian Gray Art Show, and that of course is based on the picture of Dorian Gray from 1945. Angela Lansbury, Herb Hatfield, George Sanders, Peter Lawford. They've even got Peter Lawford is in that movie. It's unreal.
I did enjoy that one. I did enjoy reading that book, too.
Right. Well, yeah, then there's the Albright painting, which hangs in the Art Institute in Chicago, which is also inspiration for the art show. And Albright did a great version of the painting based on pretty much the way Oscar Wilde describes it. So, and that, Dorian Gray theme. And, of course, Oscar Wilde always referred to the hideous sins that Dorian Gray was out there doing, but he never explained them. So each viewer would have their own, whatever seemed like the worst sin that you could do to the reader, would interpret that in their own way.
Right, yep, and that's a good way to keep you involved with it.
Right. It's bringing you got to use imagery in your head when you read a book. So that definitely was a great film to make into a book to make into a movie. And it does follow the book pretty well, which is not always the case, is it?
No, it's not. I've learned that a lot.
There's a lot of arguments to that point, but I don't know if there was a book called Frankenstein Meets the Space Monster, probably just a teleplay for the movie.
Yep.
Loose adaptation, we could say.
That way we can kind of run with the idea, see where they take it.
But it's actually a really pretty cool concept, and just a lot of fun all the way around with the space aliens in this one.
I like the
Dr.
space
Evil
aspect.
comes to mind from the those movies Meyer did. What were those? Austin Powers. How can I forget that name? I've actually got to admit, though, I've never watched one of those all the way through, ever.
No?
No, an Austin Powers. It's just too...
They're a little much.
It's just... Yeah, I don't know. I can't really dig it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Sometimes you got to be in the mood. It's one of those.
Right. I know that I'm very far behind on some, TV shows, that sort of thing that have been on. But Southwest Library here in Kenosha, the doctor likes to go there. Everyone knows that. And they had the first season of a show called Gotham. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have seen
it. It is the origins of Batman. And, I guess I've had my first experience in what they call binge watching.
Oh, have you? Welcome to the club.
I don't know if I'm going to be in that club anymore, because it seems when I got done, I really got the feeling like, this is something I should wait and see one a week. Like, actually, you're waiting for it, like a weekly
the
show.
Anticipation.
Which I haven't had real television in so long that I don't have that. So seeing it all at once, I don't know if that was really a good deal. Every show had they introduced a new crime or character, keep the show fresh. Meanwhile, there's little bits of them building up the characters that would be Batman and Catwoman and everything. And in the end, though, it was just kind of like watching a movie that just wouldn't come to a conclusion. because I was watching it all at once.
Right. I do understand what you're saying.
And I did that with, I started watching Better Call Saul without, was seeing it once a week, and the show Barry once a week.
Okay.
But when I tried to binge watch it, I was like, no, this isn't the way to do it, so.
Yeah, some of them you can run with it for the whole day. Other times, it's you get to a point too where it's like I don't want to go through all of them and then be stuck not having anything else to watch.
Well, see, I caught like a little bit of. There were 6 discs, and I got a little bit every day. I watched, and at the end of the night, so I didn't like really. I guess if you say binge watch, that means all day long.
Kind of.
Who's got all day long to sit and lay in front of a TV and watch, 24 hours of television? I don't know who.
It's too hard.
Yeah, it is too hard.
Unless you're sick.
But it had a lot of things I liked about it. I got to say that it was interesting.
It is a cool show. I do enjoy it, and I haven't seen it for a while because I don't have cable either or any of that stuff. So maybe I'll have to go down to the Southwest Library and check it out.
Well, I'm in an awkward position. I guess I've seen so many films now that I'll get something, and if it's a new movie, and I'll sit down with it. And if it don't grab me in the first 20 minutes, I'm out of there.
Okay.
The doc is out of.
You gotta have those attention grabbers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you do. I mean, I don't want to get lumped into that category of, bullying critics or anything like that. But how critics are. Sometimes they ruin something before it comes.
Sometimes they do, but I also have learned with a lot of the critics and what they say, a lot of times I don't agree with it.
A lot of times I found redemption in movies that they've blackballed.
Yep.
We got some interesting stuff going on in March. Pretty interesting. It'll be interesting to see Tim Burton back at it with the Dumbo movie, The Flying Elephant.
I forgot about that.
And which is really kind of cool. It looks like they're bringing back Danny DeVito as sort of a ringleader like they did in Big Fish. Have you seen Big Fish?
I have.
Big Fish was an amazing Tim Burton movie. That was a really good story. So that's coming out. And anytime there's a Tim Burton movie coming to theater, I will admit I will get excited about it. I know people have kind of been they've been fickle with Tim Burton and Johnny Depp and the likes, and that's just the way the public is.
Right.
So we'll see about Dumbo. It looks like it'll be some great fun. And then of course the other film coming along is the Godzilla King of the Monsters. So we'll see if they do something good with that or not.
Yep, if they live up to the expectation.
But here's a fine example. Tonight's movie, though, Frankenstein meets the space monster of, what can happen without all the special effects in a budget. You got to really try harder. And the fact that CGI is so created on a computer, I don't know. It's just anything that's not real doesn't look as real. So a guy in a rubber suit might look more real than the CGI thing because you're actually looking at something that was physically existed.
Physically there, yep.
And filmmakers are looking at that and taking the trend away from doing that. It was kind of the things like Gotham, where they've got their sets, but it's a lot intense on the actors. You got to have a real good cast of actors.
Absolutely.
And sometimes those simpler projects are more fun. This movie, though, straight up fun, right out of the box. So we're going to get right back into it now. That's right. Frankenstein meets the space monster on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
Plus 202. At that point, he'd already been traveling 1,500 miles. None of the downrange picket ships or island stations have reported any contact. The odds are 1,000,000 to 1 you'll never see your boy again. Let's all get some sleep so we can write a good report in the morning.
What if everything except the energy level, all the data communication, all the electronic memory were destroyed?
Well, then he'd be a blank. An astro-robot without a control system. Oh, he could feel and experience things, but he wouldn't know anything. His instinct would be to try to connect with his master control. Of course, we don't know how much damage has been done to the physical machinery, but he wouldn't know where to go. He might wander for days, mobile but aimless.
What would he do?
I don't know. It would depend on what had happened to him. If he'd had any bad experiences, he might react violently out of his built-in self-preservation unit. Anything could happen.
what you're saying is that he could turn into a Frankenstein.
General Bowers. Is there positive identification? Let me know when anything more comes in. Right. They found the capsule in Puerto Rico. There was no one in it. We've also gotten reports that there was some violence in the area by someone who they said was wearing something that looked like a spacesuit.
Those signals must be Frank after all. But what are those reports of violence?
Just a moment. The reports are incomplete. We'll have more details when we get to the airport. We're leaving for San Juan tonight.
Yes, Princess.
Bring the captive girl in. I want to inspect her myself.
Yes, Princess.
I understand that this is a good specimen, Nadia. I hope so. We have no more time for failures.
I saw her myself. I feel you will be pleased, Princess.
Come toward me. Now, move back. Turn around. Raise your arms to your side. Now, over your head. Now, lower your arms. Very good. We have done well, Nadia.
I am pleased, Princess. You are satisfied.
I will be satisfied when we have enough more like her to commence phase 3. Place all available men into this operation commencing at 1800 hours.
As you remember, we found the car in the trees, parked, apparently unmolested. Picnickers were over here. But the most interesting thing we found was over here.
Dr. Steele, I'd like you to explain this to me.
It's like the sort of specimens we picked up around Los Alamos.
May I use your radio to call headquarters? I want to advise defense to take this matter under our sole supervision.
It is radioactive. But Adam, what is it?
Well, it was sand. Now it's glass, fused together by some enormous concentrated heat. But what I can't understand is what that has to do with Frank.
It couldn't have anything to do with Frank, Adam.
I have a hunch we're going to find him somewhere down here.
We'll have the situation under control soon. We've spotted that creation of yours. If he gives us any trouble, we'll bring you back the pieces.
Adam, Frank has become so real to me that I can't bear the thought of his being hurt. Please, let's just get started.
Karen, nobody's going to destroy 10 years of my life's work. Hop on.
We'll walk in the rain if you really care to. We'll do everything that lovers do, 2 by 2. To have and to hold you this. I've often told you I love you. Yes, I do. We'll walk in the rain if adore you and tell you what's more, you're everything. Breath of spring, oh, oh, oh. Having to hold you, my heart would grow cold without you, dear. Need you near. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh.
Yes, Karen, he's nearby. This way. The signal's very strong now. Wait a minute. Should be right down there. Come on. That's where he's got to be.
Look, there's a cave here.
Frank. Frank, can you hear me? Frank, can you hear me? Frank, put your hands down. Down. Hands down, Frank. That's right. That's right, Frank. Okay. Put him down. Put him down gently.
It's horrible, Adam.
Looks worse than it is. Remember, he's a robot, not a man, Karen.
I know. This is the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Thank you. You'd better get started back before it gets dark. I'll stay here and try to finish repairing Frank. Tell General Bowers that we've got to have some men.
I'd rather stay with you, Adam.
You've got to go and get the help, Karen.
All right. Goodbye, Adam.
tomorrow will go away. There will be no tear from me. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. You say you stay by my side. That's something we can decide. We can only wait and see. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. But for now, let's live and we make plans. That our love will be a lasting game. Let me be like summer's rain, quickly come and come again. It will last eternally. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be. That's the way it's got to be.
Who are you? Let me go! Let me go!
Let us go within and observe the purification. I am sure you will enjoy seeing what we have set up.
Please! Please! Please let me go! Please! Please! Please let me go! Please! Please! Let me go!
Everything under control, Nadia?
Our electronic purification is going smoothly, and our inspection has revealed no problems thus far. Yes?
We found this device on one of the captives.
Bring her to me at once.
This is a very advanced-looking mechanism for the society. What is this device? What is your purpose here?
We have no time. You must answer. I warn you. Very well. I will force you to talk. Nadia, put her in the cage next to Mo. You have only a very few minutes to decide, my dear.
General Bowers.
General, we just received a Twix from Washington.
What's that?
Alert all local forces, Puerto Rico, for Operation Area San Juan. They're asking us for full military support because...
Oh, no. I don't buy that, Colonel. Sounds like an ordinary brush fire action to me.
There are reports of gunfire and unusual civilians.
Probably Castro in that bunch.
8 missing persons. All women, it says here. At least 3 casualties, General. Also, radioactive materials found. And this is Code 24, General. Code 24.
All right. I'll have all forces in action immediately. This is General Bowers speaking. Get me Syncland Fleet.
Alert all forces. Area San Juan, Puerto Rico. Code emergency. Code emergency.
Just can't wait for Karen. Careful. Now don't try to talk anymore. Just be quiet and follow me. Karen shouldn't be very far. This way.
should have been here. Just hope that she hasn't been. No, don't look back, Frank. We're safe. I wonder where Karen is now.
There's nothing unusual down there, Ed!
I think she's had enough, Princess. Let me see if she has any other Earth devices in her satchel.
Quiet, Frank, quiet. Quiet, Frank, quiet. They'll hear you. Now, Frank, the men who attacked you are from outer space. That's the spaceship that they came here in. That's why Karen didn't get back to the cave. Now, look, I think they've got Karen prisoner on that spaceship. You've got to stay here and keep watch over things until I get help from General Bowers. You do that, Frank? All right. Good luck, Frank.
Monstrous. It's beyond nature, beyond reason.
Sitting in his little
soul to the invisible. Some letter of that afterlife to spell. And by my soul returned to me and answered, I myself am heaven and hell.
The doctors and the TV do give them a fright. The movies are cheesy and so's the host. Look out, honey, here's 13 ghosts. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Bill the Monster, Eater. And Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater, ghoulies, come on! Showtime, ghoulies! My fingers are burning! Next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater. Have a horrifying week, ghoulies. Thanks for coming. Love you, dearest.
Hey, you got a telephone? No, a telephone. Telephone. Hello, hello, a telephone. Telephone, el telefono! Thank you.
33rd Commo Detachment, Lieutenant Denny speaking.
Listen, I've got to get word immediately to General Bowers.
No, it can't be done, sir.
Why?
Because General Bowers is out on Project Mayflower.
I know that. That's exactly why I've got to get this message to him. Now, look, you tell him that Dr. Adam Steele is reporting that he has sighted a spaceship 2 miles northeast of coordinates D1 and 18.
I don't know, sir. I don't know whether I can relay a message like that or not. Nobody would believe it.
You will have to believe me. I know that it sounds fantastic. Spaceship. I repeat, spaceship.
All right, sir. If you insist, I'll relay the message to him.
Hurry.
Yes, sir. Bird Dog 1, this is Commo 3, over.
This is Bird Dog 1, over.
Bird Dog 1, I have an urgent message from Adam Steele for General Bowers. Priority 1, over.
This is Bird Dog 1 to Commo 3. What is your message? Over.
Adam Steele says he has found a spaceship.
Spaceship? Is that the message?
That's right, a spaceship. At coordinates D118.
Well, he's right below me. I'll relay the message. Over now. This is Bird Dog 1 calling Red Hook. Urgent message for General Bowers from Adam Steele. Do you read me?
Turn this Jeep around. Red Hook to base. Red Hook to base. Scramble the jets.
Scramble all jets. Scramble all jets.
Our objective with full offensive strength.
Frank, it's me. Frank. It's all right. It's me.
This is Bravo High 3. I am nearing the objective. Minus 2 miles. Calling Red Hook for instructions.
Bravo High, this is Red Hook. Go ahead.
I've sighted the objective.
Is there anyone near the ship?
Negative. There was activity, but the area's clear now.
Very well, try a rocket barrage and report results immediately.
Our rockets just aren't working.
They cannot do any damage to our ship.
We must take off immediately. They have nuclear weapons, and if they use them, we are finished.
Where shall we go, Nadia?
We must leave immediately.
Free the other women first. They're in there. Hurry.
Captain, what were the results of the last strike?
General Bowers, you're not trying to destroy that spaceship.
What do you think?
I'm absolutely convinced that Karen and at least 2 other women are aboard that spaceship.
General, you gotta stop that attack immediately.
Captain, get Bravo High and tell them to cease fire immediately.
Bravo High. Your orders are to cease fire. Stop the attack.
Ceasefire! Ceasefire!
Rockets, ignite! Full power!
We'll walk in the rain if you really care to. We'll do everything that lovers do, two by two. To have and to hold you, this I've often told you I love you. Yes, I do. Adore you and tell you what's more, you're everything. Breath of spring, oh, oh, without you, dear. Need you, need. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh,
Enjoyed tonight's horrifying sci-fi melodrama. How about that, Space Monster? He delivered.
He definitely did. I
That's
really
scary.
enjoyed it. I definitely gave me a little bit more than I was expecting when I originally watched it, so I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this movie actually sort of celebrates 50s, 60s camp.
It really does. It
They're,
does a good job of bringing it to life.
It's not an accident. They're embracing it.
They really are, and it's great to see too, and how they really portray it in the movie.
Yeah, it's a great show for Crimson Theater here. So again, Dorian Gray Art Show fundraiser at the Port, and that is March 30th. That's going to be a really great time. And then the Dorian Gray Art Show at Bendelli's, that will be on April 6th. We're still looking for artists, and we plan on having a good spread out there too for that one.
Oh, absolutely.
Make it fun.
We have lots of good people, lots of good entertainment.
Yeah, we got a lot of good artists and good bands on board, and we'll have more information, of course, about who, what, and where when we get closer. It's only March 2nd, and since it is March 2nd, you could still go to the Port. We're playing there tonight too.
It's exciting. Well,
Two places at one time, isn't that amazing?
The things we can do in
I
our
know
realms
the
of
magic, black magic occurring on Crimson Theater. Imagine that. So good times, and there's going to be some special announcements too about videos and a full-length record coming out by the Roosevelt Dolls. So,
all right. Do you have a release date?
not yet.
Not yet?
We will have one on Crimson Theater soon. Of course, we will have a lavish CD release party for that one too as well.
Oh, we'll have to. We got to go all out for it.
Right. So anyway, ghoulies, you have a horrifying week. We'll see you next time on Dr. Destruction's Crimson Theater.
Thanks for tuning in to Channel 14, Kenosha Community Television. Remember to tune into my program, Just Talkin', shown right here, Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Channel 14. On the program, we cover community events, talk to nonprofit organizations, and who knows, we may bump into a celebrity now and then. So remember to tune in to Just Talkin' Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 8:30 p.m. right here on Channel 14.
On one college campus, 5 students converge on one class.
Oh, this was a class on Poe, not some sort of psych class.
I figured since it's the weekend, we could get started right away.
Saying this guy's an ass clown.
Where the hell do you think I'm from?
We don't know. You won't tell us. Focus, people.
So he buried an axe in her skull. He then does what any sane gentleman would do. Walls her up in the basement. You got something to say, Midnight? On that note, go.
People get away with things all the time, right?
Quiet!
It seems that Dr. Lynch has taken an unexpected and indefinite leave of absence.
Reginald Lynch's body was discovered in a forest on the western edge of the campus grounds.
And Sister Mary says, that's a hard one.
I dismembered the corpse and hid it within the floorboards.
Kenosha Community Media. Kenosha Community Media serving the greater Kenosha area for over 30 years. Kenosha Community Media is your TV station. You are Kenosha Community Media.
Screaming relaxes me so.
monster from his slab began to rise. And suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash,
he did the monster mash.
the monster mash.
It was a graveyard